I have already created a blank document, the same way we created the blank documents in the previous tutorial. But now what I will show you is how to save this blank document. If you go to File, and then you click Save As, a new pop-up window, Save Drawings, will come up. Basically, select the folder where you would like to save your work, give it a name, Square, and just click on Save. Now we have saved our blank document, and you can see that by this bit here. As you remember in the first tutorial, we have mentioned that once you have saved your document, the full address of your document will appear here, as it does. So basically, I have created a blank document. I have chosen to custom size this document to 100 by 100 millimeters. Alright, now that we have created and saved our new blank document, there's probably one more step that I would do before I actually start drawing some shapes. I've already done this, but I will show you how to do it. Go to the Windows menu, click on it, and then go to Dockers. Then move right and select the top two, the Object Properties and the Object Manager. Those Dockers are actually located here. By clicking on a particular Docker, you will expand it. So for example, let's click on Object Properties, and we get the properties of that object. To collapse it, just click here. Same applies for the Object Manager. Now the Object Manager is something you're going to be using a lot if you're having multiple layers or multiple pages. For now, we only got one page, we've got only one layer, and we got absolutely nothing of that layer. So we'll leave it for now. Click here and collapse it. If we go to the Object Properties, basically the information that was displayed in the Properties bar here is now displayed here, plus a lot more options and properties, as you will see. Alright, let's go to our tools and let's select a rectangular tool. Now, as you probably already realized, every time you move over an icon, there's going to be some description about that icon, but also it will show a shortcut. So for example, if you want to select the rectangular tool, you can just press F6 on your keyboard or click here like I've done. Now our tool has been selected. To draw a rectangular, or a square in this case, click once, drag it, let go. That's it, we have created our first basic shape. Now, one very important thing that a lot of people forget to do is once you have done using your particular tool, you will have to go up here and change to Pick Tool. Otherwise, every time you click anywhere in your document, you're basically creating a new square, which we do not want to do. Now, to undo this, because I don't want it here, I can simply go here and click Undo, which I'll do once, and then I'll do Ctrl Z for the other two. Now we have our square on our screen. Now we have to go and pick tool. Okay, another way of doing this in a shorter way is just pressing space key on your keyboard. Okay, now we have a pick tool. If we click once on our square, we'll find some information here in the properties bar, but a lot more information will be found in objects, in object properties. Click on it, and here we can find many different things. Actually, we can set up our outline. So for example, if we don't want any outline, we'll click none, or otherwise we can set the width of our outline. Once again, we're working in millimeters. You can change that as you wish. We can change the color as well, so let's change it to some blue color. Also the style, there are many different available styles. There's a dashed line, dotted line, and so on. We'll go with a straight normal line. So let's also make it a lot bigger. Let's go 2 millimeters. Now if you go down the list a bit more, So we can actually collapse this, and we can go to fill section. So what this will do is that it will fill your shape. So if you click on, for example, uniform fill, you will get a palette of colors. So you can choose some color you want, say some yellowish, make it yellow, and there it is. We have changed our fill color, we have changed the color and the width of our outline. But now I would like to go back to the outline and show you a few other things. This here actually represents the corners of your shape. So if you have a look, our square currently has a very sharp 90 degrees angle. We can change that and make it a bit round. Or we can choose the other option and make it a bit almost like cut off. So let's go with round for now. So what we have done so far is that we have created a basic shape. Our shape is, well, something that looks a bit like square. It's not a perfect square. We have also changed some properties of this square. We have changed the thickness and the color of our outline, and we have filled this shape with a different color. But another way of doing this, a quicker way, would be to use the color palette located right here. So for example, if I use my left mouse button and click on this red color, my fill will change to red, right? However, if I use my right mouse button and click on some other color, green, the color of my outline will change. So once again, to change the basic properties of a basic object, you can either use object properties locker, or you can use the color palette. Also, you can change some of the properties of this particular basic shape by looking at the property bar up here. So let's have a look what's here. If you have a look at the top left corner, you will find an object origin icon. So basically what this icon does is that it lets you select where the origin of your object will be. In this case, our shape, which is a square. So this origin will later be used as a reference point for your object. So let's put it in the center for now. The next bit of information gives you the exact point of your origin. So at this particular point, our origin is located as almost 51 millimeters in the X direction and 54 in the Y direction. The next bunch of numbers actually give you the size of your object. So you can see that my size is 76 millimeters by 58. If you move to the right, you will come to this little icon here, which is a lock ratio. What this actually means is that once you click it and you try to resize your shape, it will always resize it proportionally in the X and the Y direction. So let's unclick it and go to the next one. This here represents the rotation. Currently our rotation is 180 degrees. Let's put it to 0, which pretty much didn't do anything because we're working with a square at the moment. But if we go 90, we can see some changes. Now the next two items are pretty useless for this particular object because it's a square. What they do actually is they mirror the image horizontally and vertically. So I will not apply those two at the moment. The next three items, however, is something that we have already seen. So it deals with the corners. We can create the round corners, which we have at the moment, or we can change them to something else. As for the rest of these settings, I will not go into more details for now. To conclude this first video tutorial on basic shapes, I will perform a few more things to our little square here. First thing I would like to do is to make sure that our square is placed right in the center of our document. So to do this, make sure we have picked the pick tool, click on our square, which I've already done, and then just press letter P on your keyboard. This will actually position the shape you have selected right in the middle. To check this, we can go to our properties bar and see that our object origins has been selected in the middle, in the center, and that it's located 50 millimeters in the X and 50 millimeters in the Y direction. So basically our shape, our square, is perfectly placed on this document. Another thing that I would like to do is to change the size. So let's make it 60 tab by 60. Now we have a better looking square. It's 60 millimeters high and 60 millimeters wide. Although that in this tutorial we haven't really created something that looks amazing, but we have actually worked with some of the properties of some basic shapes and how to change them. This will come very handy later when you start working with more advanced and better looking images and artwork.